Welcome to Office 2013 video project number 6. Hey, this is our website. You can get to it by clicking on the link below the video. And we have a start file we need to download. So this file right here, I'm going to click on that link. The Save As dialog comes up. Where do I want to save it? I'm going to click on my jump drive. Drill down into our Highline folder, the quarter we're in, Business 216 class notes, and we're studying Word. The file name we'll accept. The file extension or file type we'll accept also. Click Save. Alt-Tab to jump over to Windows Explorer. Guess what? This looks just like that Save As dialog box. I'm going to dig down. Looks like I already was digging all the way to Word. And there's our new folder. We click on the left and look inside. Boom, there it is. I'm going to use Windows Explorer to double click and open up this file. Now, this is a video about spell check and then this awesome feature called autocorrect, which we can use for shorthand. But spell check, we all have used spell check. Now, the number one thing I want to ask right up front is this. Does spell check always get it 100% right? No, it doesn't. That just means that after we run spell check, we have to proofread it. And if it's important, we have to have someone else proofread it. Now, this is a business letter. Kites by the Beach is the business. Steve Kavanaugh, who signed at the bottom, owns Kites by the Beach. And Steve Kavanaugh is sending a letter to Richard Pollock Nelson, who owns Colorado Boomerangs. And all Steve is saying in the letter is, hey, we saw your boomerangs at the trade show, and we loved them, and we want to carry them in our store. All right, so let's make sure our cursor's at the top. Control Home, so we all start in the same place. And let's run spell check. Now, you could come down to the status bar and click that button right there. You could go to Review and click Spell there. Or, look at that, the keyboard, F7. All the way back, I remember in the 80s, WordPerfect, you had to hit F7. Now watch this. When we hit F7, in earlier versions, it opened up a dialog box. But F7, it opens up a task pane. Now, throughout Office 2013, Microsoft has moved away from dialog boxes into task panes like this. So for spell check in Word, over when we're formatting chart elements, instead of the old dialog box that we're used to, it'll be a task pane. And there's a number of other places. Pictures in Excel also open up task panes. All right, so it says spelling at the top. And we can see it found this, and it's the very first one. It's highlighted there. Now, it used to say not in dictionary because that's what the red squiggly line means. It's not really that it's a spelling error because our names or other proper nouns might have red squiggly lines, but it's spelled correctly. It's just not in the dictionary. So spelling, I don't know why they put that there. They should have kept not in dictionary. But no problem. It says spelling. January, ignore, that means if we wanted to ignore it. Ignore all, that means ignore them all for this one run of spell check. Add, that's add to dictionary. So if you hit the first time you find your name or a proper noun, you click add, and it will be in the dictionary. No longer will be treated as a red squiggly line. Change this one time. Change all means change it all in this document. Now, change all is great for efficiency. The one thing you want to be careful about, and we'll run into a situation like this, is if you click change all for a word like race, and you spell it R-A-C, but you have the word race and rack many times in the same document, and a couple times you spelled R-A-C for both of them, be careful. You don't want to click change all because it'll change the wrong ones. That's the only caveat about that. Now something new in this task pane in 2013, they have the definition and how to pronounce it.
January.
The one thing that's missing, though, is the undo button. The dialog box used to have an undo button. I can't seem to find that undo button. All right, so here, I'm going to say change. All right, now association. Notice there's 2 times. Annual Kite Trade Association trade show down in Clearwater, Florida. Okay, so association is spelled twice. So I'm definitely clicking change all. All right, so spelling Clearwater, that's the name of the city. Now this is one you might want to be careful with, right? Because Clearwater, the city, you might have clear water later. So I'm going to say change. I had two T's. I didn't mean to have two T's. All right, showcasing. I spelled it wrong. I'm clicking change. Ah, look at this one. This one has a blue line now and says grammar. So there was two problems with this word. Now, red means not in dictionary. Blue squiggly line is supposed to mean homophones and formatting inconsistencies. And green is supposed to be grammar. But on my computer, blue is for grammar. Homophones like I won the game and 1, 2, 3 and formatting inconsistency. So blue seems to be for all of that. And then red shows up for not in dictionary. So in this case, this is jargon. Different groups of people like accountants or lawyers might have specific words that other people don't use. So that's what it thinks this is. But showcasing. The association does a great job every year of showcasing the latest line sports products. You know, displaying, highlighting, showcasing, whichever one you like. I like showcasing, so I'm clicking ignore. Now, it hits Yanaki, and this, we are interested in purchasing the following items for our store. These are the names of the boomerangs: Yanaki, Delicate Arch, Sunset, and Deuce. There's a proper noun. Let's click add. And there it is down there. So not only by adding it to the dictionary will it ignore it here, but forever on this computer, it will be actually added to a custom dictionary list of words. So I'm going to click add. So now it'll no longer find that. Now, here's another difference with this spell check. Deuce. I see deuce, D-U-E, and this is D-E-U. Well, this is the proper spelling, but Steve Kavanaugh always misspells deuce this way. This is a perfect candidate for autocorrect. The autocorrect button used to be in the spelling dialog box, but it's not. So I'll have to show you that later. For right now, I'm simply going to say change all, because it'll happen over here also. Grammar, this is for a comma. There's some description here. Commas are for a pause. In particular, we like the Yanaki. In this case, there's no solid rule for whether we should use it or not, but I'm going to accept it. I'm going to say change. Because change. Didn't, that means a contraction. It says contraction down here. In general, in business writing, you don't want contractions. However, if Steve Kavanaugh and Richard Pollock Nelson have a casual relationship, he might want to use didn't. We're going to accept the change. And there's this rack it found, R-A-C, race, rack. Those are pretty close. This says, as per our conversation, please send us our initial order with the display rack and the point of purchase material. So I'm going to select the second one and select change. All right, it says spelling done. You're good to go. I'm going to click OK there. Now, if you look through this, there's a number of errors that the spell check didn't pick up. So down here under address, that comma shouldn't be there. Down over here, the association does a great job every year. There should be a Y there. Down here, we are interested in purchasing the follow items. Now, what's the problem with this? If you're the author and you read it, you of course read, we are interested in purchasing the following items, right? So you read right through it. So please send use our initial order. Oh my heavens, all sorts of spelling and typing errors. All right, now we want to look at an amazing feature called autocorrect. I'm at the end. I'm going to Control N just to make sure. And I want to jump to the next page. Now, I don't want to do enter, 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 enter to get to the next page. There's a great feature. Insert page break in 2013 or use Control Enter. Now watch, Control Enter. And it puts that non-printing character there. Now that's really handy. Next chapter, when we create our research paper, we'll see that it really, for longer documents, being able to jump to the next page when you're done with this page is awesome. Instead of Enter, Enter, Control Enter and put a page break. Now I'm going to zoom in here. Autocorrect. We actually want to go up to the File menu, Options. proofing. Before we look at autocorrect, let's go see in our custom dictionary if that word Yanaki got there. I'm going to click Edit Word List. And so there it is. If you ever want to delete it, there you go. Highlight it and delete. But there it is. It's in. For this computer, it's no longer going to get that red squiggly line. Click OK, click OK. Autocorrect. And how it works, you type something like the wrong spelling and then the correct spelling, and it will automatically be fixed as you type. Notice that's why sometimes when you type parentheses C parentheses, it turns into the symbol for copyright. And there's a bunch of automatic ones here for the and other common words. So I type the incorrect spelling, and here's the correct spelling. I'm going to click Add. Now, the real power is not so much misspelled words, but to use this to create your own shorthand. So guess what? If I work at Highline Community College, I don't want to type Highline space community space college anymore. I'm going to make myself a shorthand, HCC. Every time I type that, it'll automatically put in Highline Community College. I'm going to click Add. And do you want to do one for your own name? You betcha. So I'm going to put MG. Add. So let's go try this. I'm going to click OK, click OK. Just do your initials, MG space, boom, just like that. HCC space, boom, just like that. And then the misspelled word, just like that, it automatically fixed. So that's autocorrect. All right, I'm going to Control Home. I can see we forgot to save as. So I'm immediately going to save as. And I'm going to name this down here. The file location is fine. We'll name it something like finished spell check. We'll accept that file extension there. Click Save. Now I'm going to jump over to Windows Explorer, Alt-Tab. We can see there's our finished spell check, the one we have open, and there is the original. All right, next video we'll talk about hyperlink and save as web page. See you next video.